Hello everyone, my name is Mumbles, and this is Killing Floor 2. I had to, punctuate that sentence with a shotgun shot. We're back with some more dailies. And right now, our tasks are to deal doomstick damage, complete this map, Desolation on Suicidal, which is the difficulty we're on, and kill 25 slashers. I mean, it could be challenging. We'll see. I'm not certain about the difficulty because, I don't know, I'm constantly sandbagging and I don't believe I can do anything, so... But we'll definitely try. We'll give it the old college try. And I gotta pull back the curtain on some recording information. Because at this current moment, we are just about 20 minutes from the time that, the dailies usually get reset. Now, I'm already in-game, so I have no idea, what, how that's going to interact. If I'll get new dailies the moment we reach that time, or if I would have to restart. I'm not gonna do, back-to-back stuff, most likely. But we will see. I'm very curious. I'm hoping to get stuff done by then. But you never know. Like I said, because of the difficulty, it might take more than one try, and at that point, that's probably a good 20 minutes. So we might have an issue with that, but we'll give it our best shot. It's not often that I have stuff to do that gets in the way of being able to do the stuff I want to do, such as doing these little recordings. But I actually had to go to, I wanted to go to a whiskey tasting. So that's where I was, and it was a wonderful time. I mean, this is the second time I've gone to such an event. The first this year, which kind of makes sense considering it's January, but yeah, kind of, feels like a touch of class for my ass. It was a wonderful time. Just, having high-quality drinks in good company. Never a bad thing. So we're looking to grab the Doomstick, by the way, because we need to deal damage with that, but that's not a possibility at the current moment. We will sell our starting shotgun and think about what to grab. I mean, you know what? Let's have a change of pace. Let's have an M4. I quite like this one. It's quite cool. We might have a little bit more difficulty with the small stuff, namely the crawlers, because this doesn't just kill the crawlers by its very existence. But it is a great gun though. It's very good for everything else essentially. I kind of don't know what's a decent spot to hang out in as a solo player on here. I already hear some stalkers. I was gonna say I can't believe the first one just lived. Thought that was a pretty meaty shot, but clearly I was wrong. Excuse you. Well, I might as well heal already, as dumb as it is. Oh, I guess we got the guy. Should have just checked the kill feed. But yeah, all the whiskeys that I got to try, some of which I still remember and also can pronounce the name of. That's kind of hard when you're having Scottish whiskeys, realistically though. But I can still remember some of the names. And honestly, the only complaint I would mount to all of them is the fact that when you drink them, they are gone. That's a pretty big issue with drinks that good. That's kind of a problem, because you always hope to have more in your glass, but obviously, it does run dry after a certain point. But it was a fantastic evening, so I can't really complain. And, all in all, we still might get to do all this stuff. Right now, this is so far a pretty easy wave, too. All things considered. Maybe it'll keep being that way. And, I mean, Doomstick isn't, awful. Can't believe we actually dodged that, by the way. I don't think I deserve to not get hit there. Where is this guy? He's about to drop down. Well, guy. It's a siren. Should be able to get the Doomstick now. I believe it is 10,000 damage that we need with that, so... I mean, it's quite a high damage weapon. Should probably be able to pull that off, relatively fast. Really? It's just glass, man. Why do I gotta hit it 4 times? You insane? The old Doomy Stick. And you know what? We'll get armor. It seems like a reasonable thing to do on Wave 3. I don't normally run this gun, even though it is a lot of fun. I'm more of a fan of the regular boomstick, if anything. It's just one of those where I like the reload speed on that thing and the damage. I mean, this is kind of the same, but better, arguably, but still, I never really spent a lot of time using it. I have busted it out occasionally for some of these dailies, so I wouldn't say that I'm fully inexperienced with it. And I mean, the concept of a quad-barrel shotgun is just pretty good, right? If the old Doom games taught us anything, that, you know, like double-barreled is pretty good, then obviously quad-barrel, even better. But, the one downside is missing with this thing, obviously, is kind of a problem. Especially if you do the old barrels at one shot. Like, if you miss that one, that's gonna sting. And I mean, it has iron sights, technically, but they don't really exist. Like, I wouldn't really call that an iron sight. I mean, you know, by definition it is, but also, can you really use it for anything? You can pretend. But this is definitely a hip-fire weapon, which really most shotguns kind of are in this game. But that's not exactly a complaint, that's more an observation. Again, I can't believe we actually hit there. I feel like that, you know, I feel like we're getting kind of lucky with some of our shots and some of the damage we've been able to avoid. I mean, that's a good thing, though. We might still encounter some issues, considering it is suicidal. Depends on which boss we end up facing. Yeah, quarter pounds go down quite easy with this thing, though. I added the plural there. Well, I used the plural, because I'm sure there's more than one. Eventually they'll show up, I'm sure of it. And there's one right now. I really probably should have just reloaded and done the old chest shot there. Can I get this guy in Z time if he... I guess, yeah, because of the penetration bonus, I believe. That's kind of nice, though. You know, like, there is a use for my Z time ability. However small, it exists. In the end, I don't think we needed armor that much, but I'm still kind of happy we got it. Like, got to save it for this round. That's never a bad thing. I do like this map, too. Like, Desolation is kind of cool. It has a power mechanic, I believe, in the basement. You can turn on the power, and then you get some lights for, I think it's probably 5 minutes. You get to go through the shooting range if you have the power on. It's a fun time, and it increases visibility. It's just, you know, we didn't really get a chance to go there in this current game. I'm thinking we should probably just upgrade this, because we don't have the thing yet. Let's check the numbers, though. I mean, we almost have it. It's probably still not a bad idea to upgrade, though. Like, we are going to face even more guys. We might as well make sure that we have the best possible weapon, which right now we might have another weapon in mind. But at the same time, there's really no reason for us to go to the area, because we're max level, but I don't know, we might as well. If we're going to die, I don't think it's going to be because of the area. Like, I'm hoping that with the amount of hours I've pumped into the game, I'll know when to vacate the area if you know, it becomes an impossibility. If anything, I'm more worried about the boss. And I mean the fact that it's just gore dudes. It's charging at us constantly. Case in point, more gore dudes. Allow me to reload. That's the sound you make when you're not really trying to kill that guy. Well, you are absolutely trying to kill that guy, but simultaneously you're not, you know, wanting to put in a lot of effort. We finally made it to the area. It was only on the other side of the map. I mean, we got 2 of the 3 objectives, though. So now, you know, it's really just a matter of killing the boss. And I can't really complain. Like, this gun has been a great asset. Just stay calm, take our time over here. I'm always surprised with the overkill, like the penetration on these guns. Always looking to still like tag the guys behind the dudes that I'm shooting. There's never really any need to do that though. I mean, this is kind of chill, to be honest. Usually when I try this gun, it goes a lot worse than this. But at the current moment, it's just going great. I'm quite surprised. I don't know why. I remember this not going so well most of the time. Maybe we got like a better wave composition. I was hoping that was a headshot. Didn't really try to make it too much of a headshot, but you know, sometimes you just hope that the game will give you those things. It doesn't often do that, but you can always hope. I really wouldn't mind, like, not taking all the damage in the known universe from just 2 guys that somehow, like, hold me down. That was really bad over there. Oh, good thing you're raging too. I was worried that you might not rage. Can't really complain, to be honest. Should have just, like, watched out. I believe there is an Edar in the mix still with these guys. Oh yeah, there is. I don't want to fight him there. Dude, like, really? My man can just block literally every single shot? Are you joking? It's a Doomstick, like an upgraded Doomstick. That's why everybody hates, like, Gorfiends, dude. It's ridiculous that they can block that amount of damage. And I'm supposed to be quite good against them as support, I believe. Isn't it, like, a Zed that I need to be dealing with for the team? Don't really care that much, though. We still got him. Still got him in the end. Well, that ammo box is kind of my savior right there. That's not a headshot, is it? Still not a headshot. Well, I guess my aim was better previously in the wave. But it is just a singular strike. I don't think there were a lot of ways that could have gone wrong, to be honest. Well, let's see about this boss then, shall we? I mean, there's a part of me that wants to hold on to the Doomstick for the added challenge, but to be honest, I won't. I'm probably going to grab the blunderbuss and most likely kill myself with it, if anything, because it deals self-damage, and we are on suicidal, so it's going to be a little hard to manage that, but I still have a better feeling about that because it's just a loadout that I run most of the time than just doing something else for the sake of doing something else. Could have saved some money, but kind of pointless. I guess maybe not pointless, but isn't, like, the upgrade for the AA-12? Yeah, it's also 1,500. I don't think we were going to make that either way. Yeah, I'm trying to, like, run through my head which boss we could get and how we would need to fight them. Like, Matriarch and all of these hallways, kind of a nightmare. There are some positions we could take her to, though. So I guess, like, we'll see. I don't think we have much in the way of you know, stopping Kevin from running off and healing, but we don't really need to consider any of that anymore because we got King Fleshpound. So that's simultaneously a good and a bad thing. He's on, like, the same level that we are on. He's just in the cafeteria, like, right there. I mean, this could have been more useful if we pick it up later, but he didn't really give us much chance there, did he? Excuse you? I was gonna say, like, some of the knockback on this man is just completely ludicrous. Well, sure, just, you know, pre-fire your laser. Why don't you? Can't believe that I got tagged by my own self-damage there. He doesn't like quarters. But then, you know, quarter pounds are there to pick up the slack for him. I can't dodge that. That's one of the things that I really dislike about King Fleshpound and his laser, that it's so, like, area dependent. I don't think there's a way we survive this, by the way. Yeah. The fact that we were on a slope and he got us is just kind of complete and total bullcrap. I think we could have had him otherwise. Do we want to run it back? What is the time? I mean, if nothing else, we should do this for science, right? Considering that I don't know how the dailies are going to work, I guess we should probably just check anyway. So let's go back to the map that we're on. Let's just stay here. And, like, let's weigh our options. What would be the best possibility over here? I don't really know. I don't really know, because it's been so long since I've played kind of anything other than stuff that I was leveling that I'm kind of having a hard time realizing what would stand the best chance of success here. And once again, it just comes down to, like, the bosses, essentially, and the way we fight them. Well, the locations we fight them in. I don't really know. There's a part of me that wants to do Berserker, but then there's a lot of bosses, especially now with the new Abomination, that just really, really kind of dunk on you if you try to pull that off. I guess we could try Demo for the fun of it. We could also do Commando. We've done some Commando stuff. You know what? Let's give it one more shot with a perk that we're trying to level. So if nothing else, we get the XP from attempting it. But this is the final attempt, as it were, for trying to do this on Suicidal. I don't think it's impossible, by the way. It just comes down to luck of the draw. Essentially, like I mentioned, I really hate the new King Fleshpound. I was one of those guys before that anytime someone would freak out over King Fleshpound, I would tell them, yo, like, just stop. Like, he is fine. Just, you know, like, figure the fight out, stay calm, do your best, and you'll be fine. And I genuinely feel, and I think I mentioned this in, like, some of the previous topics, like, I genuinely feel they turned him into essentially, like, a damage tracker, basically. Where it has nothing to do with how you do the fight, it has everything to do with the location. Some maps are really, like, ill-suited to fight King Fleshpound in general. Anything very indoors with a lot of, like, steps and slopes like this map, kind of incredibly annoying to fight him, to be real. For the reason you just saw. Like, the only way you can dodge one of his attacks is if you literally, like, crouch down, but if you're on a slope, it doesn't matter if you crouch down, because guess what? He's gonna hit you anyway. And I think that's kind of bullcrap. Like, that attack should have a different way of dodging it. It's very frustrating when, essentially, like, you don't have a way to deal with that attack. Oh, turn a corner. I'm like, yeah, sure, but, like, Matriarch, I thought Matriarch was the boss that was completely positioning dependent for the first phase. And in that regard, like, again, you could argue King Fleshpound is infinitely worse, because he can do the laser whenever he wants. So, technically speaking, like, he is more positioning dependent, but he's also a very aggressive boss that pushes you kind of all over the map. I'm not a fan, to be honest, and to be completely real with you, I don't really understand why we need to adjust boss difficulty in a fully PvE game. I know there's a mode where you get to take control of the bosses, but I thought it was just Kevin in the versus Z mode. And I've never played that, and to be honest with you, I have no intention of ever touching it, because it's really not what this game is all about, in my opinion. This game is about playing it either solo and having a good time, or logging on with your friends and just shooting the crap out of a bunch of Zeds. And if the Zeds become too easy, because there are a ton of players that have over, like, 6,000 hours in the game, then the solution isn't, in my opinion, to overtune the game so that, I don't know, those 25 people suddenly have a challenge. I think the solution would maybe be to just leave it be and accept that your game is like a 6-year-old title at this point. And maybe, just maybe, it's too old to really put up a challenge equally for everybody, because the people that have no-lifed it are just going to be able to crush every single thing that the game throws at them. There's just no other way it's going to go down, right? I mean, come on, if you've invested that amount of time into the game, like, your hipfire aim is just completely incredible. You know every single loadout that you need to know. Every single perk is max leveled, and you know how to play them. Nothing is going to be a challenge. It doesn't matter what gets tweaked, basically. The only way any boss is truly going to become an issue for you is if they overtune them. I don't think they overtuned the new King Fleshpound for the veteran players. I think it's kind of an issue for everybody else. At least it's an issue for me, as you can see, and I'm man enough to admit that. I really don't like him. And like I said, I think it's a bad direction for the game to go into. Like, I don't... Again, it's, you know, just anecdotal evidence, but I don't think anybody was complaining, really, about how easy King Fleshpound was. Because at the end of the day, bosses being hard, I think, is a good concept in a lot of video games. In this one, though, and this is another thing I'll mention, is a lot of the game, for your average player, is about the leveling experience. It's a long process, like leveling to max level in this game. Prestiging is another thing entirely. It's also pretty long, though. Technically speaking, it is faster than the first time around, you know, 0 to level 25 for sure. But kind of my problem is that so much of the XP you gain, that is a lot of bloods, dude. Like, what the hell? We will need some ammo, so let's start running around, I guess. I think the emphasis of the game is, at least to a limited degree, about the leveling experience, if you will. And in that regard, the absolute thing you have to keep in mind is the fact that a lot of the XP you gain is actually tied to the boss kills. Like, just look at your XP bar when you're doing some of these waves. Most of the XP you get is not really throughout the wave. If you're doing, like, hard, even on Suicidal, I think, you get a proportionally higher amount of XP from actually just getting the boss kill. And that's kind of the issue that I'm trying to bring up here, basically, whereby essentially the problem you run into is the game really thrives on you actually getting the boss kill every single time, basically guaranteed. But simultaneously, there are entire perks that are ill-suited for that, and also the bosses get adjusted to be more of a challenge. And I'm just like, I get it. Like, for the players that already have all the XP in the world, they're probably, like, super glad that this change happened. Maybe not super glad, but maybe they're like, yeah, I'm glad that, they did some fine-tuning. I'm like on the complete other end of this, where I'm just like, I don't think anything really needed to be touched in the way that it got touched. Like, Abomination is another great example. I think if Abomination needs to be looked at, the issue is not, like, number scaling. I don't think you fix the boss by changing his cooldown numbers and increasing his damage. I think you fundamentally need to, like, look at the actual issue with the boss. And, you might, as a viewer, be like, okay, well then, smart guy, what is the issue with Abomination? I would really just make it, like, the easiest possible explanation, where my personal issue with Abomination is a very simple one, which is that he's frustrating to fight. He just kind of goes against the way you want to tackle most of the bosses in this game. Because I would say most of the time, you want to potentially like have the option available to you to kite the bosses. And Abomination is one of the bosses in the game that really penalizes you if you try to actually kite him. I would say he's kind of the worst in that regard. Because a lot of the other bosses in the game are kind of annoying if you let them go on for too long. Not all of them, though. Matriarch actually gets like easier the more damage you deal to her, which I think again is a cool boss gimmick. Basically, I don't really think it's good that she's at her most dangerous when she's at full health basically, and like her first phase is just mega annoying because she has like a kit that really no boss should ever have in a video game, and the amount of damage she does with like her plasma attack is just really bad. And the fact that the only way you can again deal with her is by turning corners is kind of dumb design, because it's completely map dependent. It has very little to do with player skill. Even if you know the solution to fighting Matriarch, if the map doesn't allow for it, then you're gonna have troubles basically. But we're getting kind of deep into a tangent over here. I guess the point I'm trying to make, realistically, is there's just like with Abomination, I don't think there's really a good way to make it an interesting fight. It comes down to you just have to burst him down, because he will just make Abomination spawn, which are really annoying. They poison everything. They will walk up to you. Even if you deal with them, they will deal damage to you and the team. And it's actually a damage over time effect that they put on you too, which is even more annoying basically, because even if you deal with them, like the Abomination spawn, I mean, it's going to be annoying for like a few seconds after, not to mention the fact that it messes with your optics. You can't see as well when you poison, which in a first-person shooter, kind of a problem. I mean, even for the Berserker, it's kind of a problem. You could even make the argument, and it's a completely like valid argument, that even for something like Firebug, who is quintessentially a Chaos perk, you do need to see a little bit though. And a lot of the weapons are kind of like precision-based, so I don't really know, man. I think, again, if people just don't find Abomination an engaging boss fight, the issue isn't the cooldowns or the damage he's dealing. The issue is his kit. Similar to what I just described with Matriarch. Like, the reason Matriarch is annoying is not because of her health numbers, not because of her cooldowns. She's annoying simply because, like, the beginning of the boss fight is very, like, annoying in terms of what she's capable of doing. And it feels kind of unfair to the player. Even if you can take her down, it just feels annoying to basically have to play it around corners. Because there's kind of no other way for you to do it. I don't know. I get, though, that it's way easier to adjust numbers. Like, that's the other thing, though. This game is basically on life support. It's way easier to just, like, adjust stuff slightly instead of actually going deep into it. Well, we'll get the grenade rifle, because it is a good time. Let's see about this final wave then, shall we? I think, let's see. It's 243 hundo. I'm trying to think, like, I'm gonna check something real quick at the pod. Again, I know that the Google Doc is the information center that you need to actually consult for this. But yeah, this thing deals more damage, the grenade rifle. I just wanted to know what should be my bread and butter, basically. Oh yeah, this is the turn on the light spot. I keep like hugging it because I actually like the lights being on here. Looks neat. You see more of the map. I actually wish it was a longer timer than 5 minutes. But I kind of understand, like, most games don't go on longer than 10 minutes, so really 5 minutes, if you run in, is quite enough. I mean, we've been here like 9 minutes, but we are on the final wave. The boss fight is coming up, and we're not playing like a perk that's super fast, and we haven't been playing it super fast. I don't think we've gotten any, I don't think we skipped any traders, basically. Because I've just been lost in the sauce talking about stuff. That's okay though. I think it's fine. If nothing else, it's content. And like I said, the only thing I'm curious about, I guess we could check right now, because I'm pretty sure we've... Yes, so far, even though we are past the normal time when new dailies become available, we still have the old one. So I'm hoping we'll still, if we pull it off, get paid for it. I'm gonna optimistically say that maybe we'll actually get it done too in a matter of a few minutes. Once again, do one reload when there's a stalker on your screen, lose quite literally over 2/3 of your armor and a lot of your health. If you're gonna adjust any numbers, I think maybe that should be adjusted, like in a game where there's flesh pounds and all this other shit. Maybe like little spider enemies shouldn't deal the actual most damage out of every single thing. Maybe look at that first before you start adjusting the bosses. Could have like shot my man in the tank a little bit there, but I decided to instead just juke for the time being. Surprised he lived, but you know, sometimes it takes two. And not the video game, I mean. Let's just handle that guy. I don't know how he missed, but I will, you know, be very happy about that, if anything. I think we got another Rager boy over there. Once again, the biggest problem is literally like one crawler that spawns behind us because he completely stalls all of our movement and forces us to abandon an otherwise really good position, to be honest with you. Can't believe there's so many of them left that we're still like being juggled essentially all around the map. And we're just getting tagged by crawlers, which are ruining our healing. Gotta love it, man. Again, if you're gonna look at numbers, look at this stuff. Like, look at the fact that the entire, like, cascade process of us having to abandon this position started with a single freaking crawler. Like, there's 4 quarter pounds, but the quarter pounds aren't the issue. The quarter pounds didn't deal as much damage to me as crawlers this wave, which is kind of ridiculous when you think about it.
Perhaps more photo stories.
And, you know, case in point, there's more crawlers. Like, yo, dog, I heard you like crawlers. We got to the end, though. I mean, we should probably do a little bit of tactical goodness, right? And by that, I mean heal ourselves while we do this takedown. Hot tip, if you're playing medic, you know, obviously that also buffs. If you can do that, like, underneath somebody, so it's quite a good thing to do so. I mean, we got to the boss again, so despite my many complaints, I don't think this is really the issue. The issue is more the boss fights and how we need to get better at them. I'm hoping, though, that over the course of playing the game more, maybe we will, in fact, get better at them. Well, we don't have enough space to really upgrade anything else. Let's just get into it, man. Again, I don't think there's a lot of setting up we can do for any of these bosses. Like, there's a lot of spots on this map that just kind of aren't ideal for certain bosses, and we'll just have to take that. It's Kevin. Again, it comes down to, like, how mean he wants to be. We technically see him when he tries to run away, because we are Commando, so that is actually solid. The thing I'm scared about, basically, is I don't think it's going to do us much good, unfortunately. Because my issue is, like, I don't have the damage as Commando. When you do this with a team, Commando is so useful, though, precisely because you can track the man down. He doesn't get to, like, mess around with you, basically. I was gonna say, like, why can't I see my man? Really? You're just gonna shoot past that? Can we finish him off? I don't think so. I really don't think so. I just want the trash off of me, to be honest. I think we get 2 grenades even for this gun from the ammo boxes, so I don't really mind using one there, even if it was 1 crawler. I thought maybe there would be more crawlers, but that time there weren't. I mean, we actually nearly caught him, so... I think he might have, like, killed that guy anyway, but... If nothing else, like, this is kind of an engaging boss fight right now for us, because we actually get to see him. You know what, I need to do this. This is very important. It's very unimportant, by the way, and that was, like, dumb. Kind of lucky for us that he took that path. He's just really loving his minigun, isn't he? Case in point. Yeah, I can also shoot explosives, Kevin. Don't even worry about it. I think because of the fact that we're so far away from him, there was no way for us to really engage. Annoying once again. If anything, we're going to lose this boss fight as a consequence. Like, it's a direct consequence of that. Because Kevin is, again, one of those, in my opinion, like, interestingly designed boss fights in theory, but just one that doesn't work very well in practice. Like, the only way to really deal with him effectively is to burst him down, which is not a very, like, fun methodology to fight a boss, because it means you just don't even get to see, like, what he does. So if you play with, like, really experienced players, more often than not, what you'll see is people will just kill this boss without any effort, and you won't even understand what he does. And that's, like, the best case scenario. If my man just gets killed before he gets to do anything. And run off and heal. I mean, he has, like, the run off and heal mechanic. Interestingly enough, it's combined with getting, like, a better kit. Because he gets more and more varied attacks as he takes more health damage and goes to heal more. Because at first, he can't, like, move and shoot with his minigun. He's been trying to do a lot of those attacks. And, you know, now he could actually do that. I wouldn't mind, like, switching over to this thing. If only to get a little bit of healing on myself. Once again, I mean, we might have a chance. No, I don't think so. He's just going to go to the left and drop off, right? Yeah. Yeah, that was just never going to work right there. This is what I mean. Like, now we have basically let him heal all of the times. So he has all of his attack patterns unlocked now. He can, like, move and shoot. He can do the upwards shot. Although I think he can do the upwards shot, like the barrage, the rocket barrage to begin with. I mean, that's fine. That's fine though. If nothing else, like, you know, we're putting up a good fight. I think he's coming from the right side, from the sounds of it, but I don't see him yet. Just trying to hop to catch a glimpse. It would be lovely if we had moved to a spot where we could have gotten free armor. I would have very much appreciated that. But you can't have it all, I guess. Yeah, this could be bad. I was going to say, we're kind of lucky that he decided to do that attack and not the minigun. That's kind of what I was worried about there. Because we were almost, like, caught in the hallway. I mean, if nothing else, this is kind of a good spot to fight him in. Alright, alright. Honestly, I prefer this spot, even though, like, it seems less long. Yeah, because with the other spot, I'm not so, like, the other path, I'm not so certain we could dodge it. All of his, like, stuff. He is doing some mad rotations with that stuff, man. I mean, there we go. It was a tough, drawn-out fight, mostly because of the fact that we had no follow-through, but we pulled it off in the end. All it took was a boss that isn't King Fleshpound. Wouldn't you know it? My man's looking a bit sick. Let me heal him up. Oh god, his leg just came off. I mean, that's a metal part, though. That's fine. We can't heal that. I guess, you know, I was wrong about the way the dailies would work. I was completely under the impression that it would just reset instantly. I guess I would probably need to reset my own game to get that, which kind of makes sense now that I'm thinking about it. But hey, you learn something new every day. Either way, I hope you guys had a good time, and I will see you in the next video.